At 22 years old, Michael Jackson's son finally confirms what we knew all along. For over a decade, the world argued, debated, divided itself into two camps. And through all of it, the headlines, the documentaries, the courtrooms of public opinion, three children stayed silent. They had to, because what they knew was too powerful, too personal, and frankly, too inconvenient for the narrative the world had already decided to believe. But silence has an expiration date, and at 22 years old, Michael Jackson's son has finally broken his. What he's confirmed will either restore your faith in one of the greatest artists who ever lived, or force you to ask why it took the world this long to listen. Stay with us, because this one changes everything. Let's rewind. Most of you know the image. A baby dangled over a Berlin hotel balcony in 2002. The world gasped. The tabloids went wild, and a child the press nicknamed Blanket became a symbol of everything critics claimed was wrong with Michael Jackson's parenting. But here's what the headlines never told you. That child, born Prince Michael Jackson the Saint, now known as Bigi Jackson, grew up largely out of the spotlight. No reality shows, no Instagram brand deals, no desperate grabs for relevance. While his siblings Prince and Paris stepped cautiously into public life, Bigi chose something rarer in the Jackson family universe: quiet dignity. Now, and here's where it gets interesting, silence isn't the same as absence. Bigi was watching, processing, and building his own understanding of who his father truly was, not through the media's lens, but through lived experience. Ask yourself this: if your father was the most famous man on the planet, and the world spent years telling you he was a monster, would you speak up? Or would you wait until you had something undeniable to say? Bigi waited, and what he has to say cuts through 20 years of noise like nothing else could. Here's something the media has carefully avoided making into a headline. Those closest to Michael Jackson, his children, his collaborators, his inner circle, have consistently painted a portrait that directly contradicts the tabloid monster. But society has a habit of trusting strangers over survivors. Think about that for a second. We trusted journalists who never met Michael Jackson more than we trusted the children who called him Dad every single day. Bigi Jackson, now 22, has begun to emerge carefully, deliberately, and what he's confirmed aligns with what many fans, scholars, and cultural historians have argued all along, that Michael Jackson was, above everything else, a father who was present. Not perfect, present. But wait, because he was a good dad isn't the full story. Not even close. What Bigi has revealed speaks to something deeper about Michael's character, his private world, and a side of him that the entertainment industry actively profited from erasing. Michael Jackson homeschooled his children. He read to them. He took them to museums, in disguise, yes, but he took them. He wanted them to experience the world, without the crushing weight of his fame distorting every moment. Former staff members, family friends, and the children themselves have noted that inside the walls of Neverland, stripped of the spectacle, there was a man who made breakfast and helped with homework. Does that sound like the person the tabloids sold you? Here's your reality check, because we need to be honest for a second. Could Michael Jackson be complicated? Absolutely. Was he unconventional? Obviously. The man owned a chimpanzee and a hyperbaric chamber. Unconventional is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. But complicated is not the same as criminal, and unconventional is not the same as dangerous. What Bigi's emergence confirms is this: the children who knew Michael Jackson best are not broken. They are not estranged from his memory. They are not quietly validating the worst stories told about him. They are protective of him, fiercely, and that tells you everything. So why does this matter today? Why should you care what a 22-year-old says about his famous father? Because legacy is not static. It is fought for, shaped, and reshaped by those who carry it forward. Michael Jackson's cultural legacy: Thriller, the moonwalk, the humanitarian work, the 39 Guinness World Records, has survived every attempt to bury it. His music still charts. His influence still echoes in artists from Bruno Mars to The Weeknd to Usher. But his human legacy? His legacy as a father, a man, a person? That has been under attack for decades. And here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody in mainstream media wants to say out loud. The most credible witnesses to Michael Jackson's character are his children. Not journalists, not documentary filmmakers with distribution deals. His children, and those children, now adults, now capable of standing on their own platforms and saying whatever they choose, keep choosing to defend him. That is not the behavior of trauma. That is the behavior of truth. Bigi Jackson stepping forward isn't just a personal milestone. It is a generational passing of the torch. A young man raised in extraordinary circumstances, choosing to honor the father he knew, not the caricature the world created. And perhaps that is Michael Jackson's greatest magic trick of all. Not the moonwalk, not the music. The fact that the children who knew him best still love him most. If this video made you think differently, even just slightly, I'd share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe, because we're just getting started. Pulling back the curtain on stories the mainstream media hopes you forget. The truth doesn't expire. It just waits for the right moment.